Initially, when I bought the business in 2015, I just thought this is a cheap business. I'll make 5 times my money and I'll sell and go. One thing to remember about investing, you will only learn the business after you own it.
So I have two questions. The first one is that, do you think a great company is the precondition for the great investment? The second question is that, how did you predict the future growth of rail industry? Because in the past, it didn't grow as much. So I think for value investing, we usually look at the company that have great performance before, and then use how what is competitive advantage, so to predict whether it can grow as well in the future. But for this company, it didn't grow a lot in the past. So how can you predict it will grow a lot in the future?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. Please have a seat. Uh, in in this particular company, in the case of Rain, the company had taken some very bold steps. They took a very bold step in 2008 when they bought one business in the United States. They borrowed about $1 billion and they bought a business in the United States. And what they did was at that time, they borrowed high yield debt, which means they were paying about 11 or 12% interest. But non recourse means if it didn't work, they had no liability. So they bought this business for $1 billion without putting any money from their side. The entire $1 billion came from the bond issue. So which means that if it works, they have upside. If it doesn't work, they have no downside. Okay? That $1 billion purchase was 5 times the size of their business in India, 5 times. So it's a very significant event. And because they have so much interest payment going on, earnings are not really coming through on that because it's paying on the interest. But you could see that they took that deal was a good deal. Then about 3 years later, he bought a second business in Europe. And again, same thing. He borrowed 700 million for the second one, but he did something smart. He put all the debt on the first business he bought. So if things didn't work, the second business, he would just own it. He would still own it. So for an Indian company in India to convince Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, etc., to underwrite a bond issue of this type is not easy. You just can't show up in New York and say, hey, give me $1 billion. But he was able to convince the bankers to give him the money, which means borrowing money is much harder than borrowing equity. It's a lot more stringent. So the first data point was that he was actually able to convince the bankers, and they were actually able to raise the capital and buy the companies. And what Buffett says is that, so there are two ways to look at the history of the business. You can look at the stock chart. That's one history. The other is look at the actual record. What is going on in the company. And what had happened was the two businesses were very good, but in 2015, the industry was going through a downturn, and so their earnings were very, very slim. And I could see that there's cyclicality in that business. It goes up and down, but we were at a low point in that cyclicality. It was hard to see that we would go below that. So I said, okay, even at the low point, they're still making money. They're still okay. If it changes a lot. So what happened in the next 3 years, from 2015 to 2018, is their earnings increased. And what they did was they took the 11% debt, refinanced it. Now the interest rate is 5.5%. So they took the debt interest rate, they cut it in half, and non-recourse. And what I noticed is that every time the company will do some project, some capital project, they always execute really well. It all comes in on time. They're doing well. So initially, when I bought the business in 2015, I just thought this is a cheap business. I'll make 5 times my money and I'll sell and go. I thought, okay, buy in 2015, but 2018, 2019, make 5 times your money, sell it and go on. That was my thought. Then as I understood, so one thing to remember about investing, you will only learn the business after you own it. You will not know the business when you analyze it. When you become an owner, that's when so from 2015 onwards, I really started to understand the business. And the CEO of this business, he does not want to meet investors. He doesn't meet investors. He just wants to run a business. So the I think that for the market to understand all this, because he doesn't talk to them, it may take 5 years. It may take them a long time. It's fine. But we think of ourselves as owners of the business. We own 1/10 of that business. And I think of myself as an owner. I want to own that business for 10 years, 15 years. I just want to own that business. So anyway, so the bottom line is that these were what I would call special situations where the business was there, it was good, but there was kind of a cloud on it. So most people will not invest in businesses like that because they just can't see it. But I think our job as investors is to peel the onion. Peel the onion, and the most exciting ones are ones where you find a great moat, but no one else can see it yet. You invest before people can see it.
Rain Industries, a classic deep value cyclical bet by Mohnish Pabrai, which turned into a 12x at its peak. But here's an interesting question. Why did he make such a big bet on an Indian company when all other investors completely ignored it? To understand this, we need to go back to 2014. At that time, Rain Industries was going through a difficult phase. The company's earnings were under pressure. The business was in downturn and the investor sentiments around the stock was extremely weak. In fact, in 2014, Rain Industries reported a loss of around 70 crores. Naturally, when companies report losses and the industry cycle is weak, the market tends to lose interest very quickly. But deep value investors like Mohnish Pabrai often look exactly where the market does not look. Instead of focusing on the current numbers, Pabrai tried to understand what could change in the business over the next couple of years. And very soon, the numbers started improving. In 2015, Rain Industries reported profits of nearly 300 crores, a massive turnaround from the previous year's losses. But this improvement was not just because of the cycle. There was also an important management decision that played a key role. The company refinanced a large portion of its debt, reducing the interest rates from around 11% to nearly 5.5%. This single move significantly reduced interest costs and improved profitability. For a highly leveraged company, a reduction in borrowing cost can dramatically change earnings. Pabrai saw this combination of cyclical recovery and improving balance sheet as a classic special situation opportunity. When he initially invested in 2015, he believed that the stock could roughly deliver a 5x return, and his expectation was that this could play out by around 2018. And interestingly, that is almost exactly what happened. As the cycle improved and the earnings continued to grow, the market slowly started recognizing the turnaround story. By 2018, the stock had surged and at its peak had delivered roughly 12x returns from Pabrai's entry price. This case study highlights an important lesson for investors. Opportunities like these are rarely identified by simply looking at P ratios, PB ratios, ROE, or even other metrics. By the time those metrics start looking attractive, the opportunity is usually already visible to everyone, and the stock price adjusts very quickly. What deep value investors try to do is identify change before it becomes obvious to the market. They focus on business analysis, industry cycles, capital structure changes, and the management actions that can transform the economics of a company. As Pabrai says, you need to invest early and wait patiently for the market to realize what they are missing. And when that realization happens, stock prices can move very quickly, just like it did in the case of Rain Industries.